Okay, let's go.
English now.
Super, viel Spaß.
So hi everyone. So I'm Scott MacDonald. Who can guess where I come from? Scotland, well done, good, yeah. So I'm from Scotland, live in Austria. I'm a breathwork and peak performance coach. So breathwork, peak performance, I just say peak performance because it sounds really awesome. Breathwork sounds kind of boring. So breathwork, what's breathwork, yeah? Breathwork, or breathing, it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing we as individuals can do. There's lots of really young, healthy, vital looking people in here, yeah? Some of you, most of you probably, yeah, take care of what you eat, take care of how you move, you maybe dance, you maybe do sport. These things are all awesome, they're all amazing. But we could go, well, we could go our whole life without moving. Some people never move off the sofa. Just sit there watching Netflix or whatever, going from the sofa to the fridge, and they're okay, they still get to be old. Hundreds of people are telling us, or trying to guide us what we can eat, all sorts of diets, vegan diets, vegetarian diets, paleo, Gracie, all sorts of diets, and they're all good. And we all know that the better we eat, the better quality of life we have. So we can go all this time without moving, we can go weeks without even eating, but what about breathing? How long can we go without breathing? Does anybody know?
7 minutes.
It's a few minutes, it's not long. Yeah, it's not long. So if we mess it up, we stop breathing, then that's it, it's game over. So if we take this idea, yeah, if these other things that are so important, but we can go so long without them, but breathing, nobody really pays attention to it. It's just something we do, everybody can do it. We do it more than we do anything else. So why should we do it any better? It works automatically anyway. But no, if we do it better, the better we do it, the better our lives are. Amazing things can happen. Something amazing happened to me a few years ago, 3 years ago, in fact, pretty much almost exactly 3 years ago. 2016, I was burnt out and broken. I don't know if anybody here's had experience with burnouts. I don't know if anybody here's had problems with back problems. I had a really serious back injury. Basically, 2015 was a really rough year for me. I had a lot of responsibility. I worked in perhaps one of the most dangerous places in the world. I worked on a really big oil platform in the middle of the North Sea. We produced so much oil and gas, yeah, Austria, the country of Austria could survive just on our platform, the amount of gas that we were producing. So it's a lot. And there's a lot of money involved in that as well. So there's pressure from the gas, there's pressure from the money. It's really go, go, go. Then 2014, there was a price crash. The oil companies started getting really greedy, putting a really lot of pressure on all of us. And then 2015, it came to the stage where people were going to be losing their jobs on the platform where I worked at. And I had a management position, so I wasn't responsible for the numbers, but I was responsible for, or partly responsible for, the actual people who were going to be made redundant, the people who were losing their jobs. These were people who I lived with for half my life, for 10 years. So it wasn't very, very nice, these young guys, young families, and it wasn't really cool. And then at the same time, my boss, one of my best friends, my mentor, he saw this coming with the redundancies, and he says, I'm not going to get involved in this. Personally, I'm not going to let them make me redundant. I'm just going to retire. So he put all the preparation into getting his finances in order, figured out his pensions. He'd done everything. He was happy. He'd been working away from home for over 30 years, and he had two more 14-day trips offshore to do. And then on the last day of these, the third last trip, he was supposed to be flying home at 5 o'clock in the evening. He lived 5 minutes from a hospital. At 11:30 in the afternoon, he had a massive heart attack. And if he'd been at home, if he'd been anywhere else, he would have been fine, maybe, who knows. But the chances of survival would have been really good. So it was five hours away from being at home, and he was stuck on an oil platform, had a massive heart attack. Took a few hours to get him to hospital, and he died. So that was tough. I took over from him as well. I was sleeping in his bed. It was a really, really crappy situation. So we got all the dirty work done. He died. all these guys got paid off. It was all quite rubbish. And then lots of bad things were happening on the platform, dangerous things. People were really frustrated and angry and started turning things that they weren't supposed to and breaking things. It was really horrible. But we got it all done, and then I was at home thinking, glad that's all over and done with. And then I was doing judo, and I got thrown and I landed and I went bang, and I can remember just hearing it and feeling it. I don't know if anybody else heard it, but it's just this noise of it. And it was, oh no, that didn't sound very good. And then I got up and I was like, okay, I think that's enough judo for today. And then the next day, it was really scary, my leg, I couldn't feel my leg. I was like, oh, that's weird. Normally I can feel my leg. And then the next day after that, it was my arm. My leg was fine, but my arm was dead. And it was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Normally I can feel my arm. So I thought, okay, maybe I should go to the doctor. Went to the doctor, really good doctor, got pictures done, MRI pictures, MRT in German. And it was like really bad. So there were 12 discs in a really bad condition, 7 of them acute. So I was like, whew, that's pretty rough. Can you not just like crack me? And he said, no, I'm not touching you. Like you did earlier on. He's like, no, we're not touching that. That's got to be done properly. So I was in every kind of therapy for months, and nothing was helping. And it got to the stage the doctor says, okay, Scott, I'm afraid there's nothing really more I can do with you. I don't know what we can do. Here's a referral. And he gave me this piece of paper and it says, you can go and visit a neurosurgeon. I wasn't happy about this. It was like, oh dear. So what's going to happen next? 7 of these discs are wrecked. What do I do? There was 4 in my neck, 1 in my thoracic spine, and 2 down here. I was like, okay. What does the doctor want to do then? Go eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Just pick them at random, and then what if it doesn't work? Where do we go? And I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to do this. And then luckily, there was one thing that was giving me a little bit of relief this whole time, and it was yoga. Does anybody here do yoga? Yeah. Okay, yoga's good, yeah? Yoga's nice. Everybody should try it. It's not everybody's thing, but I enjoy it. And I was doing it online, had a nice website, Yoga for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, very sports specific, so it was cool. And there was a video about pranayama, the yoga breathing techniques. And then this guy, he starts speaking about Wim Hof. I've never heard this name before in my life. And then he starts speaking about all these things that Wim Hof had done. It was like legendary things, completely unrealistic, things that no human being can do. He was speaking about him going and doing a marathon in Lapland without any clothes on, a half marathon without even shoes on. And then it was, he climbed Mount Everest and made it to over 7,000 meters in just a pair of shorts. I thought, wow, that's a cool story. And I thought, yeah, I want to go and Google this Chinese guy. It sounded like a Chinese name to me. I was expecting to see some monk. And anyway, Google's Wim Hof, and boom, it's a 60-year-old, he was 60 the other day actually, a 60-year-old Dutch guy, and it was all on video. And I was like, oh wow, this is pretty crazy. So I found the mini course. There's a Wim Hof mini course, 3-part mini course. Part 1 was quite nice. It was okay, that's pretty cool. Part 2 I did in my garden, and it was crazy. I did something that I thought wasn't humanly possible in the first place. I got up and I was like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. That's really, really cool. That's going to be my next party trick. And then when I stood up, I was like, oh wow, really nice colours, really nice plants and everything here in my garden. That's cool. And I was like, oh wow, I'm moving my head. I haven't actually moved my head since 2012. So yes, this is cool. And then I noticed my back was fine. All the tension. I was like a plank of wood. I couldn't move. It was just gone. And I was like, whoa, wow, that's crazy. So this pain, all the pain had gone. I mean, the pain was so bad. I was having to go to my doctor and get infusions with really heavy-duty painkillers and muscle relaxants. Pain was gone instantly, and it never came back. That's 3 years ago. It still hasn't come back. It won't come back. And that was just the beginning. Then I started getting really heavily into the practices of the Wim Hof Method. Within a couple of weeks, I was back doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Before, I was training maybe 10 hours a week, and I was wrecked. I was eating well, sleeping well, but 10 hours a week of wrestling was like really hard work for me. But then all of a sudden it was like nothing. It was easy peasy. I was just, okay, how much can I train? And then I was training all of a sudden 20 hours a week. I probably would have done more, but my wife might not have liked it too much. So I was training 20 hours a week, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Nothing was sore, no muscle aches. I wasn't tired. I could have just gone on forever. And the smells, the senses, it was like being Spider-Man. It was really, really cool. And then I went back to work. I was off work for four months, I think it was. Went back to work. Before I could have worked 24 hours, and I would never have been finished. It was just one of those jobs. There was always something to do. And I was working 14 hours a day for 2 to 3 weeks straight through. That was standard. But then all of a sudden, I went back there. My desk was always tidy. My desk was a mess before. Lots of really important stuff all the time. But then it was empty. It was my desk was empty, and not only didn't I need 14 hours, I only needed 2 hours to finish my work. The rest of the day I was just like, well, what can I do now? We'll search on Google. So I was just really, really efficient. Yeah, my head was completely clear. It was crazy. It was nice. So the pain was gone. I was training as much as like a top athlete. I don't know if I was as good as a top athlete, but I was certainly training a lot. And then my work-wise, yeah, it was like so efficient. I was so creative. It was amazing. And then there was sex. Yeah, that's when it starts getting really interesting. Yeah, yeah. So breathing. So breathing's important. If we as individuals, like I said, we don't breathe, then we die. Yeah. And what in sex? If we don't have sex, if we're not having sex, not me and you, but just us as humans in general, if we're not having sex, there's no humans. 100 years and we're extinct. It's crazy. So most people are having sex with their genitals. Yeah, the great lovers are having sex with their souls. But you start combining these two, the fundamentals of life, and then boom, that's when you get to the Big Bang. That's when you get cosmic. Yeah, that's when you get to the universe. That's when you're everything and nothing. That's when you start experiencing life. That's when it starts getting really good. So breath. That's it. It's the most important thing. Fundamental of life. Makes everything better. Everything better. It's easy. We can all do it. It's the thing we do more than anything else. We're breathing 20 or 30,000 times a day. Why not do it better? It doesn't take a lot of work. You just need to give it a try. This ice bath here, we're about to do a live experiment. Yeah, an ice bath isn't really pleasant for most people. Some people think it's really pleasant. Are any of the Munich hot springs people here tonight? No. So there's a lot of people who are heavily into ice baths and cold training. We're going to get Tim up here in a second, and we're going to let him get in here. I'll explain how it's done. The reason why we do it, there's lots of reasons why we go into ice baths. It's so many health benefits. Yeah, good for your circulation, fights inflammation, burns fat, all sorts of things. But there's two things. Yeah, one, it's a huge stress going into there. You overcome this stress and you feel fine. Your body remembers the stress of the ice bath because it's a real physical stress, and then when you get into stress situations in real life later on, it's easy. And the other thing is the mind, body. Yeah, people tend to think that we're a mind or we're a body, but not both. Yeah, really, we are a mind and a body. We're a person. We're a thing, a being, and this brings everything together. Yeah. So before we can start getting all cosmic and stuff, we really need to fix everything out here. We really need to get our body and our mind aligned, and then we can get our soul, and then we can get cosmic. So that's what we're going to do just now. We're going to do that. Yeah? So I'm going to stop talking just now. My talking part's done. So thank you very much for being here, listening. It's a real pleasure. I'm going to get off the stage and then I'll come back and get Tim in here. Thank you very much. Wir machen mal das Wim Hof Method Atemtechnik. Ja? Und du machst Liegestütze. Ja. Okay. So, das geht so. Am besten kniest du dich hin. Okay. Diese Übung übrigens, ja, macht man niemals im Wasser, niemals beim Autofahren. Ja, wer herzkrank ist, epileptisch oder schwanger ist, soll hier unbedingt, ja, darf nicht mitmachen. Ja. Okay, so, wir machen das so. Du atmest, setz dich aufrecht hin, wenn es geht. Ja, geht das so? Ja, okay. So, atme mal tief ein. Und aus. Ja, ungefähr so, das wird passen. Ja, das wirst du jetzt 30 Mal machen. Du wirst ein bisschen schwindelig werden. Ja, mach einfach weiter so. Okay, es kann sein, dass es anfängt zum Kribbeln. Okay, ein bisschen schneller noch. Ja, sehr gut. Ganz tief ein und ganz entspannt aus. Tief ein, locker und entspannt aus. Tief ein und entspannt aus. Immer weitermachen. 2 und 1 und atme aus, halt die Luft an und loslegen. Immer weitermachen. Wenn du nicht mehr kannst, atme einmal tief ein und halt dann die Luft 10 Sekunden an. Und mach einfach weiter. Ignoriere deinen Kopf. Ja, atme gar nicht. Super, genau so. Bis du Luft holen musst, dann einmal tief einatmen und 10 Sekunden halten. Tief ein und einfach aufhören, 10 Sekunden halten. Nicht weitermachen. Okay, tief einatmen, 10 Sekunden halten. Keine Liegestütze mehr. Kannst dich entspannen. Okay, du musst auch keinen Plank halten. Okay, geht's dir gut?
Ja.
Okay, gut. So, einfach kurz ausruhen. Jetzt bist du warm. Ja, sehr gut. Okay. Das kann man machen als Aufwärmübung, muss man aber nicht. Sieht aber gut aus, ja? Wer hat da mitgezählt? Wie viele Liegestütze hat er gemacht? Einige, genau. Also recht viele. Mindestens. Okay, gut. So, jetzt bist du bereit, oder? Ja? Überlege einfach kurz, wie wir es vorher gesagt haben. Nimm diese Reiterstellung an. Ja? Ja, okay. Und jetzt beweg dich, so wie es für dich richtig anfühlt. Und tank einfach ein bisschen Kraft. Starke Gedanken. Deine innere Feuer anzünden. Wenn du dann da reingehst, nicht dagegen kämpfen. Das ist kein Kampf, was man gewinnen kann. Du musst dich einfach entspannen. Ja, wenn er da reingeht, es gibt 3 Phasen. Erste Phase ist ein bisschen ein Panik. Ja? Kampf- oder Fluchtmodus tritt ein. Sein Körper sagt, okay, ich spring da raus, das ist zu kalt. Okay, er springt aber nicht raus. Ich halte ihn da rein. Nein. Okay, er muss das einfach überwinden. Er muss aktiv atmen mit Kraft. Und dann irgendwann, bist du bereit? Ja, dann zieh dich aus und ja? Okay. Ein Fuß, zweiter Fuß, kein Überlegen mehr. Hinsetzen, hinlegen und einfach atmen. Genau so ist richtig. Bestens vorbereitet. Kaum Schnappatmung da. Jetzt muss er ein bisschen mit Kraft atmen, bewusst atmen. Und irgendwann bald wird seine Atmung ganz, ganz ruhig. Sobald er ruhig atmen kann, hat sein Körper übernommen. Dann geht es ihm gut. Dann hat er eben diesen Stressüberwindungseffekt. Das merkt sich sein Körper. Die ganzen gesundheitlichen Effekte treten sehr bald ein. Man muss nicht ewig lang da drin bleiben. Maximal 2 Minuten, das reicht schon. Alles andere ist nur übertrieben. Jetzt atmet er ganz ruhig durch seine Nase. Das heißt, er ist jetzt in der Zone, ja, Flow-Zustand. Ja, es gibt nur Tim und das Eis. So, machen 10 Sekunden noch. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 und langsam vorsichtig aussteigen. Okay, ich schaue, dass das Eis drin war. So.